Hello YouTubers and friends. I'm gonna present the second part of my personal discography, and because the time goes so quick I'm gonna jump right into it. I showed you all the vinyl that I could find. I think I might have a couple other things that I play on. I can't remember, but some compilations and some unique projects that I've been a part of is I worked with an artist whose project was called Atlatl. And what we did was he made a series of floppy disks with individual art, music storage. It's like floppy disks are are obsolete, but the idea was to make an artifact, a music artifact. So this is one that he did of some of my music, and these are two different copies of the same thing. Of course, you can't play it. It's pretty cool though to participate in. An artist that I met out of Tennessee, calling himself Yobliart, has a series called Non-Listenables, where he releases limited edition cassettes in artwork that, in order for you to play the cassette, you have to destroy the artwork or very carefully, open it. This is one of my music. I forget the songs on here. I haven't opened it. We also did, I believe these are mini discs, the same artist, Yoblier. These are two different versions of the same music. I haven't opened them, so they're too thin to be cassettes, so they must be mini discs. They could be floppy disks, but then they don't look. That's possible too. And then he also did another limited edition cassette, sealed, of some electronic music that I did. This doesn't have a title, just self-titled. And got a couple of these, actually. I don't know what I'd sell them for. I almost don't know if I would. They're kind of precious to me. It's when people ask to work with me, it's still such an honor. Like for last year, I was asked to participate in this international compilation that was released on a double cassette in a cardboard purse called A Pairing in Disorder. And it's a pretty cool package, in that it's a cardboard holder for the cassettes, and there's artwork and information about everyone, and there's people from all over the world on here besides myself. Just trying to see if there's any names possibly that would be even vaguely familiar, but I don't think so. But this came out last year. I have another copy of that as I look up on my shelf. So the CDs, I'll try to get through these because time just runs. But before the CDs, two more, because I did some self-made cassette releases where I would, just run them myself. And one was called Derek. I made a CD version of it here. I think they made this in 1980, actually more like 1970s. I am so bad with dates, excuse me, but that's one. Then I put out another one called Half Brain. And to try to go in some kind of order with the CDs, the first CD that I released was Digital Sex Unreleased. This was a real honor to have this released on the Sordid Sentimental label. It's a French cult label that put out very limited and collectible 7-inch singles by Joy Division, Tuxedo Moon, Durutti Column, Ludus, and some other really good bands. And when Digital Sex put out that album, Essence, that I showed, we sent it all over to get reviewed and to get played, and we sent it to Europe, thinking that was a place we could get play, and sure enough we did. And they contacted us and asked if we would like to be the first CD released by their label, which is very exciting. And I think this came out in a numbered edition of I think 1,500 copies, and they're numbered. You can still find this on eBay. I'm very proud of it. And to follow up on that, it was remastered and reissued with extra tracks in America by Randy's Alternative Music in 1994, called Digital Sex, Essence and Rarities. This is still available from Randy's Alternative Music, the fellow who financed and put this out on his label. There we are. And if you go to his Facebook page, Randy's Alternative Music, and inquire, you'll make a man very happy if you want to get this music. The record, you can still find the album on eBay, and sometimes I see it. I've seen it in Chicago recently used, and I didn't buy it. But so there's that. Some other CDs that I play on. Tom Ware, Out of Bounds. He's an Omaha musician who is primarily a drummer, but also owns a very good recording studio here in town. And he's just a very, very talented musician. I'm trying to see what the year this is. I tend to forget. 1996 is when we made that. I play bass and do some sound manipulation with him, some experimentation. Stephen Stacy, Tomorrow's Vision. This is I guess you could call it almost new age, ambient, Native American flute music. I play the Tibetan singing bowl and some guitar. I wrote a song for it and gave it to Steve. Came out in the early 90s. I won't try to go in order. I'll just show you what I have. I showed you the Coyote Bones album, the second one. This is the first CD release, Gentlemen on the Rocks. And this is a great album. And, David tried to work it, tried to get it some notice when it came out. Got reviewed in Pitchfork and stuff like that, but didn't catch on. But this is really good. And besides myself, it's got really some of the cream of Omaha musicians, folks from The Faint, Tilly and the Wall. Can't even remember who all else is on here, but played bass on a couple tracks. Really enjoyed that. CD version of the Sun Ambulance, someone else's Deja Vu, Saddle Creek Records. I did this project with this German Dada artist by the name of Kommissar Hular, and he did a limited edition of 9 CDs that feature this one track of ambient sound that I made, and each CD has artwork by him, semi-pornographic. This is number 4 of 9, and I have 2 of them. I've sold one. This is the other one. This is number 6 of 9. He kept obviously the rest, and I think one's on display in Germany in a Dada museum. This was a really neat collaboration. That was maybe 2 years ago, 2009. I think we did that. In 2004, I decided I wanted to get serious again about playing music, and had been working on some songs since 2002. So it led to my my second solo CD release. And I guess I'm going out of order, but I'm going to go ahead and keep going because this one was significant to me. Derek 2. In that, when I put this one out, it was like I was like serious about trying to present myself, you know, in the music that I play. This is self-released on my own imprint, DVH Music. This is available, and right now, actually, there's several copies on Amazon, pretty cheap. I'll just go ahead and say, you know, it's like, because I'm not trying to get any money off of this, you know. Some of you could. This I'm really proud. I think this. No, I don't think this is good. This is good. If you like Digital Sex, you'll see where Digital Sex came from. The sound, you know, a natural continuation. It's my sound in many ways. It's also available from me. I have copies, obviously. Very proud of this. Another CD that came out just in 2010 here locally, Scott Severin and the Milton Burlesque. I just do hand claps, but I'm on here, so it's part of my discography. Birdhouse Obligado. I play bass on this CD by a local artist by the name of Jonathan Friedman. The name of the album is Seattle. This is kind of pop, but good. John is unashamedly influenced by Hall & Oates and folks like that. He's a pretty good songwriter, so I'm really happy to have played on that. Another collaboration I did was with a home tape archivist and sound experimenter by the name of Charles Goff III, who is based out of Kansas City, Lawrence, Kansas City again. And we did this thing called The Elements of Stylus. And this is a digital release. It's available online. But also, Charles made up a batch of these. He sent me instructions on how to make these covers. I just haven't done it. But here's my copy. And this is a piece of sound concrete or something to that effect, where it's really the shaping of sound, the use of samples, as well as live playing, all, and then we would send things back and forth to each other, you know, putting together a mosaic. It's pretty interesting. I'm glad to have done it. I've done a series of self-releases. This is one of mine called Tensegrity. These are all sold out, but this music is, you can hear much of this music online on those websites that I've recommended, SoundClick and SoundCloud. Another one in the series, the first one that I did of that was, this one is called Way Stasis. And this one is particularly dreamy. My first solo CD I put out a CDR in year 2000. A limited run of 300 CDRs I had made, and I called it Nice. And really what it was picking through the best of all these recordings I'd been doing at home since the 80s. Picked out 18 tracks and just had these made up. You know, I actually had a distribution deal with Borders Books, and so I know I sent a bunch out to New York, and I don't know where they ended up from there. I did end up actually getting one payment, but might actually be able to run across this through Borders. Space Age Polymers is a band that the main guy is from Omaha, but he moved out to Oregon, and I play bass on, I think, one or two tracks, or I think I play all the tracks on one of these songs, actually. Pop psychedelic. I did another limited edition CD, 20 copies of DVH. These were tone poems along the lines of the single, the pink single that I showed, that I did with Dino Felipe, except this is just me. And My God, I only made 20, but I sold out of them. They actually sold. A couple more things. David Matesiak, I told you about him. Coyote Bones, he started the label Coco Art. Well, he likes to put out samplers at Christmas time. This is the 2007 sampler, and I have one song on it. As you can see there, Ribbons. It's actually the song. It's the B side, or it's one of the A sides. It's a double A side. It's of the Dino Felipe collaboration I did is on there. He just did his latest Rome for the Holidays compilation, which features a track from Atlas Sound, which is the main guy from Deer Hunter, as well as myself and a bunch of other cool folks. My friend Nick Fackler, Derek Presnell. And this is available online. cocoart.org or .com. You can download that for free. Two more things here. The time just goes. But this is the last two things I have to show that I can find, because I do have more. Thanks again for your interest. I play jazz. I only have one jazz-related release, which is by this band Flamethrower. Flamethrower got a song on this compilation called "A Situation," and Flamethrower was a free jazz band that I played bass in, based out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Luke Polipnik is the guitarist leader of the band, who is quite amazing. He's up in Wisconsin now. God bless him. I don't know how you could find this, but this is available. A Situation in situ. 2007 is when this was made. And the most recent solo CD I have out, or did, because this is now actually officially sold out, is Derek 3. And that's my official logo. If I ever get to make some business cards, this is what will be on it, which reminds me to go ahead and do that. But I had 200 copies of this made up. That's what's been playing in the background as I've been showing this, is this CD. And I just really am happy with how the design came out, which was my design. And just depending on my fortunes, and I'd like to get more of this made, because like I said, I just have to reorder when I have the money. But thanks again for your interest, and as I've said before, this music, quite a bit of it is available to listen to online. Enjoy. Excuse me.